Cool. So I am live on Facebook. It says you're live. Cool. All right. This is actually going to work out, I think. Oh, Billy Smith joined. Paul Robinson. Awesome. Man, yeah. Sweet. Yeah, I'm seeing people starting to join. Um, so for people that are watching, I'm talking to Dave from Brograph right now on Skype. I think we can only see it, but if you run the actual app, you can reply. Maybe someone named BS joined. All right, cool. Yeah. Have you checked Twitch to see if it's? Yeah, I'll check mine. Let's see. Oh, yep, I'm live there too. Cool. All right, what's up, everybody joining in? Sweet. Oh, David Ariev is watching it through YouTube. What? What the? Yeah, this is awesome. I love that this is working out. What's up, Mark? Co? No, it's Co. Khoe. Blair Walker. What's up, Blair? Yeah, Pro Video Podcast. Man, we're gonna have some people turn out for this. This is awesome. Hey, Ray. What's up, dude? School of Motion alumni. This is all right. Cool. So if you are watching on YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Facebook, just say what's up. Make sure we got all the questions coming in and everything. What's up, Paul? There's David again. Yeah, I love the podcast. Totally. All right, so we started about 5 minutes early, and I'm going to probably wait about 3 to 5 minutes before I get rolling on this. But if you hear me talk to anyone and it's not to the chat, it's just because I've got Dave from Brograph on Skype. He's making sure everything's running smoothly. And we'll get going soon. So, if anyone has been watching the tutorials, this is pretty much going to be an overview of the first tutorial that came out. And what that was is just how to set up textures, how to just get a light going, and how to switch over from standard render into Redshift. The main difference that I'm going to do here is just try and field questions as I'm going through it in case I skip something in the tutorial that people have been asking about, or there's something that you notice that you just don't understand why it works that way. So let's see, we've got, all right, so it's officially 9 o'clock now. Give it a couple more minutes and I'll do another spiel. Cool, all right, still got a few people coming in. Way to schmooze it up, David Ariev. Our schmoopy, a new schmoopy with Blair. All right. Dave, are you able to see how many people are watching at one time? Because all I see is just a stream of chat. Oh yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah. So for people that are still coming in, just give me a shout in the chat. Say hi. Time for some red team juice. No, man, he's gonna be Octane Jesus, and I will be Redshift Judah or Judas, and we'll battle. Oh, Tashi, all right. Cool. All right. I'll give it a couple more minutes to populate. Battle. All right. Merv. Okay. Well, I will call you Merv from now on. All right. I'm just checking my stream, see if anyone's in there doing chat that I haven't caught on to. Nope. Cool. Yeah, this is good. Only technical weirdness going on is audio. It's only coming out of the left ear. Okay. Bring that back up. Come on, OBS. Open back up. Show. There we go. Settings, properties. Yeah, I'm checking a couple of them. Let's see, recording devices. Two channel, 24 bits. Huh. Maybe I should go down to one channel? Like, will that merge it? It's being used by another application. It may stop working. I'm worried that I'll lose audio altogether. I'm not going to do it right now. Guys, if it's just coming out of the left speaker, I'm sorry. I will try and remedy that next time. Oh, you know, why is it picking up my webcam instead? Whatever. We'll figure it out next time. I'd rather have a little bit of audio than screw up everything. So I'm going to bring up my chat one more time and make sure we're good. I've got Mark in there. Yeah, Mark says left only there too. Merv, you two might be compressing this single channel over web. Yeah. Okay. Well. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get started. I'm Liam Clisham at _531 on Twitter. So as I already said a few minutes ago, if you missed it, I'm gonna go over how to do the Redshift workflow in Cinema 4D. Take a look at pretty much what I did in the original tutorial that was released earlier this week, and going from standard Cinema 4D into Redshift and breaking down materials and talking about the conversion and how that all works out. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Cinema for you guys and get my chat back up over here so I can see what's going on. All right, so quick overview. I'm in R19. Usually I've been recording in R18, but since the first two recordings, it has come out available for R19. So a little bit different setup. I've got objects and takes and structure and everything over here. Attributes here. Redshift IPR here. Yes, a dissolve switch. Thanks, David, for picking up on that. And materials and everything here. So I'm going to bring in my cute little taxi as we did before. Yep, I know Octane's not installed at the moment, at least for R19. And so when we bring that in, we've got this taxi here. And if I get rid of that light, do some quick shading. Well, so we've got the taxi. I'll hit go into standard just so you guys can see that really quick. And nothing's loaded up because all the materials are missing, but that's okay. So if I bring in my light right here in this light panel, I'm going to go into a dome light and just throw that in to have some kind of light and hit play on Redshift. And so we've got it going. So the way this is broken down for the taxi is we've got taxi here, exterior body, which has a bunch of stuff, tires, front and rear, passengers, mirrors, and some interior stuff, the engine bed, and a chassis. So this gets pretty detailed, even though it just looks like a simple toy car. And on all of these, we're going to start swapping them out. So first things first is you can't double click to get a material. You have to actually get it from either the create menu under Redshift materials, or now we've got this handy dandy button that you can use, or you can go into the Redshift menu here and grab that. So I'm going to use this docked material here, choose material, and throw it on our taxi. And go ahead and just call this taxi body. And it looks like all these, so I'll just do function, select texture tags and objects, and put it for all of them. Nope, just because I have that first one. Function, there we go. Wow, all right, we'll just do this the regular way. All right, so we start to bring in our Redshift materials, and we've got it gray. And if I double click on this to bring up my material editor, it looks like a standard material editor. It's kind of like the traditional Redshift material or standard material. And just to show you, we've got color diffusion, luminance, and everything. And then this is Redshift. It's just, instead of having a bunch of tabs over here, they're broken down into segments here. So under diffuse, we want a yellow taxi. So we'll just change this to yellow. And really quickly it updates here. However, the actual taxi has some texturing to it and has some numbers on it. And this is where people start to deviate a little bit away from being comfortable with Redshift, because unlike Octane or Standard, you can't just add in a texture. You have to start using the node editor, and it's really simple to bring up. You can click edit shader graph right here and it will pop up. I've got mine docked down here, and if you take a look at it, this is the exact same as this. It's just hidden here in a graph. And if you've ever used Espresso, it's the exact same setup, same node system. So you're going to bring in a node called a texture, but this one is just built for Redshift instead of a normal Espresso node. So brought this in. We'll click here to get our path, and shout out to Coolfire and his VDB mega pack. And go into here. So right here, I've got diffuse for the body, and then this is for taxi sign, diffuse, and taxi sign luminance. We're going to do the body, pipe that into that, and you'll see we can go from here to here, and you'll get a menu. And in this menu, you're going to see base properties, diffuse, and you'll get a bunch of different things. So what we want is the color, but you can also control weight and roughness, and that's all nice and complicated things through other nodes. If you ever use Substance Painter or Substance Designer where it's node-based, it's very similar. You can do a lot of the same stuff just through here without having to go into another application. So I'm going to pipe that in here, and you'll see automatically it starts to update here. Bring this down so everybody can see. And that's pretty much it to start working with textures. It's just one node to connect it, and you pipe it in right here, and you're good to go. So a couple things that you can do in Redshift that are really nice is it comes with some custom presets, everything from glass, tinted glass, water, plastic. I'm going to choose plastic just so it updates some of these settings down here. And we'll start to get a little bit better plastic feel in there. But I like to have a little bit more roughness in there so it spreads it out a bit more. I'm going to up my samples just a little bit too. you're pretty much good to go. That just makes some plastic for you. And to talk about this a little bit more too, talking about sampling, and I talked about it before on the live stream. Dave's sending me messages on Skype. So I talked about this on the tutorial before, but I'll go over it again too. For a lot of the way Redshift works is you don't need to just crank samples up. So I've got mine set to 4 and 16 here, and it looks pretty clean already. But you can control it even better in Redshift just by adjusting lights, and you can do that too in Octane. But say it was looking really dirty. The best way to actually go about cleaning it up is upping samples here. So if I change this all the way down to like just 4 samples, you'll see it gets really noisy, and I'll go up to 100% scale so you guys can see that. Not ready for that. I like that name. So down here at 100%, it gets pretty noisy. But as soon as I bump this back up to 64, it cleans up really fast. And so if you're working in Octane, standard render, physical renderer, this kind of goes throughout, but it works really well in Redshift to focus on getting your lights and material samples higher than really worrying about, cranking these settings up like you would in Octane and just sliding that over to 1024 or more. All right. So next thing that we can talk about is how about going for like glass. So right here is my glass that I set up before from the previous tutorial. And if we take a look at the windshield, we've got it right here. And the way we set this up is I'll create a new material, go right there, drag it on the windshield. And you'll see it starts to replace everything in there. And you can do what I just showed by going into your custom presets and choosing glass, and instantly start getting some glass. And it's that fast. That's all you have to do. If you want to start making it look more like plexiglass, you can up your roughness a bit. You can add some diffuse in here, a little bit of roughness, and you'll see it instantly starts making a difference. I like to keep this around like 1.49, so it's more like a plastic. Might add a little bit more roughness in here, and we'll say 64. Oh, Mundo, let's see. I'm trying to make an animation, but like Animator, I hate myself. I hate animating. It's just really tedious. Man, animating is awesome. Oh, what's up, MotionWorks? Yeah, awesome. If you guys don't know who MotionWorks is, you need to go learn how to model through him. He's awesome. So I want to start fielding some questions, but this is pretty much, what are we at? 14 minutes into the stream, and that's how long it takes to really kind of get used to working in Redshift. So the new God Rays tutorial was just released on Brograph, and I released it last week, and I can start showing you guys how to do that too. I may have just locked up. Yep, cool. I'll just kill this really quick. I'm gonna open up R18. I just feel like it's a little bit more stable. No offense to Redshift. I know I'm kind of promoting Redshift right now, but something about R18 is just running better for me. Yeah, making it look great 11, like David just said, David Ariev, it will change your life in modeling. Hey, Rocket Force, that's awesome. What's up, Nick? I think that's Nick, right? Aren't you go by Rocket Force? Yeah, I thought that was Nick. Yeah. All right, so I'm back in R18. So I want to go and just do God Rays a little bit, show you how easy it is to add in environmental fog. It's pretty quick. So I have a nice little heart that I like to play with. And we'll bring this guy in. So there's that. It's not the best modeling. You can see the polygons in there, but it works. And I'm going to bring in just a dome light again. And a little shout out to Grayscale with HDR Link. And we'll just do, nope, done with that. Pro Metals right there. And HDR Link is really easy in Redshift. You just drag it onto this and you get it going. And there we go. Set up. Let Redshift start up for a second. See down here it's starting. And there we go. So volumetrics is really easy. All you have to do is add your environment. And once you get your environment in here, you want to go into your lights under volume and just make sure that you're actually adding to the volume a bit. So we'll say 0.25. That's going to be too much. We'll say 0.025. And automatically, almost automatically, you get some volume. And then you can start adjusting your scattering. So I'm going to bring it down to like 0.01, not so much. And that's just a little bit of volume that quickly. And you'll see down here it says progressive rendering. I can make it even faster. I go in my render settings and turning off progressive. And so it's dirty because it's not doing progressive render, but that quickly you can have that. And so if I take out the dome light and make sure my default light is turned off, I'll bring in a spotlight. Make sure that it's contributing, and there you go, already affecting the volume. So if I just bring this up here, I'll throw a target tag on it, and we'll aim it right here at this heart. Start getting some God rays just like that, and then you can crank your samples up. Let's say 128. And gets nice and smoothed out. And I'm still keeping these samples in here at like 4 and 16. It's just all about doing it in the lights. If you want to add some warm colors or cool colors, let's try like a little bit of a blue in there. That's probably gonna be too blue. Right about there, we can copy that. And move this guy over here. More. Make this one maybe like a purple. Actually, I'll do a warm color over here, more like a orange red. Go back in here, and just like an Octane, you can lock this off. So we'll lock that off, and I'm going to bring the power of this one down and just start moving up slowly before I get the warm back in there. 55,000. There you go. And so now you get some nice warms and cools in there, and that's it. That, like, we've got fog that fast. So turn it off, it's gone, and turn it on, and it's back. And you can just see how quickly that renders. And if you want to adjust like the horizon of it, you can start changing it here, add some of that, and then now it starts to fall off. You can control how high it goes up. So really, really quickly, you can just integrate fog. And if you want to have some metal, say you want a metal heart, go into Kill Switch Engage Concert or something like that. Just throw, you know what? I really like the car paint shader. And since I see Billy's in the chat now and he's all about cars, I'm going to do car paint. Throw that on there. And then we get some nice car paint. What's my GPU setup? I have 3 980 Ti's, so I'm not even running the fastest stuff out there. So if you have a 1080 Ti, a few 1080 Ti's, this is going to be even faster. And plus I'm streaming right now, so that takes into it a little bit too. But I mean, you can't get much faster with fog. Like that's one of my favorite things about this. And let's say if I go up to like 0.5, just a little bit, and it calculates so fast. Just quick adjustments on the fly. So just like that, got some nice car material on there. And you know what, for the hell of it, I'll change it up on a couple other ones. So we'll just do, which one's the veins? We'll do that there. And under my material editor, really quickly, let's do like iron or lead. Let's do iron. Get some contrast in there. Dang, Redshift. Yeah, see, Mark? Pretty awesome. So, Liam, do you use a combo of dome lights and regular lights? Yeah, I usually will use like a dome light with an HDRI to get going, and then I will manipulate with spotlights and area lights. So a quick setup would be something like this. Throw in a dome light. You can see it's already affecting the scene. I just don't have any volume attached to it. So let's add like 0.125 to that. And because it's a dome light and it's going all around the scene, of course it's going to blow out the scene. Crank this back up to 64. And maybe even drop this down to like 0.25. So that gets to be pretty intense. So probably even drop that down just a little bit. The things that start to happen though is because it's lighting up the whole scene, you don't get to control it as well. So I usually just do it as the first step, and then I'll kill that. I'll bring in an area light. And this is where it starts to get fun. You can start to really control things. If you wonder why I'm not using keyboard shortcuts, it's because I screwed up my preferences, and so now these don't work up here. I can't use, what is it, WER. But so I'll scale this down, get something in there, duplicate that, and move that this way. You can see how quickly it's updating the IPR. I mean, Octane is fast, but so is Redshift. So people that are commenting like, man, the IPR and Octane is so much faster, they're pretty much the same. It just depends on what you're doing. So like Redshift can handle an environment with fog really quickly. Octane, not so much. Sometimes like really high specular things or things that are going to cause a bloom. Redshift, I've noticed, will get a little bit overwhelmed by really hot highlights, and Octane can handle it. However, really intense models with high poly counts, Redshift will just chew at it and chew at it and chew at it. Octane will sometimes lock up. So, you know, I'm not saying for everyone to just jump off of Octane into this. I just want people to realize that there's another option out there, and pick what you want. You know, the render war is fun. It's fun to talk about and battle, and it's kind of like, you know, Mac versus PC. But when it comes down to it, do what's best for you and your client too. Like, don't start jumping ship and trying to learn new software just because it's the new hot thing. Learn it because it looks like it's going to help you out in your workflow. So same workflow. Cool. So that's awesome. MotionWorks. I like the area lights show directionally in the viewport. Yeah, I like that too, especially with the little tabs up here David's talking about, so you can actually tell which way it's going. I believe in normal area lights and Octane, it just is the rectangle, so you can't really tell which way it's going. And just for the hell of it, I'll bring this back up, 0.5. Affect both of them a little bit. 64. So I'll just kill that. So you can get really dramatic scenes really quickly just with a couple lights. And if you throw a third one on top, you can start to get like this nice studio lighting that you would see for like a boxer UFC event. And just to differentiate it, we'll make this like a purple up here. Say like a 10. There you go. So really quickly, just like that, you can clean it up and add a few more samples. And once again, let me reiterate, I'm doing all the sampling just in the lights, not even touching this yet. So this heart's looking too weird for me. I want to throw that in a subdiv so it gets a little cleaned up. There we go, a little better looking. All right, can't post links in the chat here. That's too bad. I don't know what that's about. Like Arnold. Yeah, it's exactly like Arnold. If anyone's ever used Arnold and likes Arnold, but tired of waiting for a GPU. This is pretty much like that. There's still some production things that Arnold has. Like if you look at Arnold, let me alt tab back into this. There we go. If you look at Arnold in the graph editor, well, let me look at, I need a material first. So let's look at standard. There we go. So here's a standard Arnold material, and it looks almost identical to the graph editor that we were just looking at. So there's Arnold, and here's Redshift side by side. So we've got materials, textures, utilities, things like that. Under Arnold shaders, we've got AOV, which is a bunch of utility type stuff. We've got color, which here's color too. So if anyone's watching this and they're on Arnold, it's really easy to make the jump. If you're coming from Octane, it's still pretty easy to make the jump. And if you could make the jump from standard into Octane, you can definitely make the leap into Redshift. So I'm going to just field some questions, see what's going on there. So I keep seeing Billy's name, but I don't see you in the chat, Billy. I wonder where you're chatting. Billy, I remember you, dude. Oh, well. Yeah, but it's weird that I can see David's comments. Oh, there's Billy. Now it came up. Cool. All right, so I'm going to start fielding questions. And I'm going to try and stay on until about 10 o'clock my time. So it's 9:30 my time. So this started 8 Central time, so 9 o'clock Central. So if anyone's got questions, let's start firing them out there. I know people are wondering about AOVs and how to do that. I am going to release a separate tutorial for that. I've got 6 lined up. Everything from going over how the lights work individually and which ones work best and how to incorporate HDRI, to shaders and subsurface scattering, which I guess I could just show that really quick, a little preview. Just go in here, we can do a nice little subsurface, get rid of these guys, throw that on the heart. And very quickly start to do some subsurface stuff. The triplanar node. I don't know that I have a texture that will take or make use of the triplanar node. Let me check, Mark. Yeah. I'll do sphere. Materials. So for the triplanar, you're going to have to go into your graph. Bring this in here. And it's kind of like how we brought in the texture in the beginning. All right, Mark, have a good one, dude. I definitely will do another one, and it'll probably be next Thursday. So if you've got time, come on back and you can ask me questions again. Yeah, Billy, I know I'm left ear only at the moment. I'm not sure why the audio is only doing left ear, which, that sucks. I'm sorry. So triplanar is just like bringing in the texture, where you're going to have this texture here, and we'll just say media storage stock. Bring in something with a grit. You're going to pipe your texture into the triplanar, and you can tell it X, Y, and Z, and then the blend amount. So we'll just say image X. And there you go. And so what you're going to see is it starts to merge here. And so you can bring in a third one. And so that's what it is 3. You start to blend them together. You start to see right in there. And I think what's really going to happen is I've got this hard edge because the material's not set up right. But you'll get the idea where if you adjust the blend amount, you can see the textures start to blend in together where they're similar. Let me just move in. So that's 0. And then as I start to blend, you can see right in here, these details start to blend together. So if this was actually UV wrapped and set up properly, things like seams like on this edge here would blend together properly instead of just like the areas of math that Redshift is doing right now. And then you can change how much the curve is set to, and you can just adjust the offset here. So it really makes for a nice workflow, especially if you know how to UV unwrap and map things properly. Then you can start to kill your seams a lot easier. I'll pretend I'm Matt. Oh, man. So, all right. I would suck at live streaming. Yeah, but you have pretty blue eyes, David. That's okay. You can get all schmoopy with people with your blue eyes. Let's see. Philly's good. Dave, are you seeing anything on chat that I'm possibly not seeing? I think. Yeah, okay. Cool. So we're saying the same things. You're welcome, David. Cool. All right. So anyone else have any questions about things? I was going to do the subsurface material really quickly just to show how quickly Octane can handle that. Throw that on there. Start moving these lights back some. Oh no, crash. Great. It's all right. Samples for final render question. Cool. Did I just say Octane? That's, yeah, because it crashed. That's why it crashed. Apparently David says that I just said Octane, and then it's funny if I did, and then the program crashed. So yeah, Merv, what's your question about final render? I wonder how long the delay is. Freudian slip. That's right, Billy. I gotta say Hail Marys. Oh man, what are Octane Hail Marys? Great tip about increasing samples in the lights to clean stuff up. What sample settings do you use for final output? Okay, cool. I can do something like that. So you know what? I can do a demo that I did earlier today for just a quick little graphic that I needed. So I'm going to set up this plane. I'm going to put some text on it. And I was having trouble getting my shadows to stop being noisy. So quick little tip that I like to do is I will just set up a camera, zero everything out. And then under Z, if you just do negative 1920, it pulls it back and gives you the aspect ratio for 1920, and then you can start to push in. 1080. So we've got that. Push in here till I get it right. And we'll throw a dome light on here. And HDR link. Quick little studio thing. Boom, set that up. Let Redshift start. There we go. All right. So I'm going to switch into Redshift. I'm going to turn off my IPR. So I always turn off IPR. I'd rather have what's in front of me look the way I want. And we'll start building what I built. So I'm going to throw in just a motext, and we'll Rockwell. And we will do, just do the I'm not. Are you? Are you going to the mall later? Man. ARIEW. There we go. Nice and big. Are you going fishing? Are you going to the mall? All right. So you can see it's pretty noisy in here. And that's mostly because I haven't set any samples anywhere. But you'll start to notice that even though I've got 64 in here and I go up to 128 and then 256 or 265 if you're watching another series of tutorials, or 512, it cleans up, but right down there it gets still pretty gross. So right in these shadows here, they're still really noisy and I couldn't figure it out. So I'm gonna throw some materials on here and see if maybe it's just I need to throw material on, but it's still noisy. Let's make this something cute and pink, because that's like trendy right now, right? Yellows and pinks. There we go. Just got that. Make it plastic. I'm gonna oh man, plastic reset. Make it plastic with yellow. And we'll call this one text. This one will be blue for David's eyes. So I've got these textures on here, and so I started thinking, all right, I've cranked up my lights and I've not done anything else, so why don't I start cranking this up here? So I'll go up to 8 and say 32, and you'll notice that it's chugging along, but it's not really doing anything to the shadows. And what I found out is if I go into global illumination and turn that on, which I haven't talked about yet, but you just go into global illumination, you can turn that on. It actually adds more noise because it's starting to blend the colors around and have them fall off onto each other. So that became an issue, and it's really because you should be using a radiance cache in your final settings, and I'm not going to go into it now, but you can see it caching right here, and the way it works is it's just sending out so many more beams of light and calculating it more in like a better adaptive way that it starts to clean it up. So right here it doesn't quite look like it's cleaned up, but if I go into my samples here and it changes this like an actual production number like 32 and 128, and for adaptive I'm just going to bring it down to half of that, you'll start to notice it cleans up much better now. Just gotta cache it all, like Pokemon, gotta cache it all. And last thing is crank up my samples a little bit to really get that last little bit right in there. But you can see now in these areas where it was noisy before, it's starting to clean up. And right here. Polygon sandwich. Oh, no, I have not used Polygon Sandwich's RS preset, Billy. So there we go. We start to get way cleaned up. Something that's really nice about Redshift 2, and they just implemented it into Octane, or I don't know how just, but it feels recent because I have kids and no memory, is you can set it to 100% and then go down to say 50 or 40 and bring your scale back, but you can also control how much is missing out. You'll never need to change the settings in Redshift again. Okay, I'll have to check that out, Billy. So when I pull back, you'll start to see it's really way more cleaned up. And you know what, this light's probably just too bright too, and you can probably turn this a little bit to like a 45-degree angle and bring this back down to about there. Probably not even that much. Let's go back to the fixed window. And there we go. We got little baby Ariev. Slack it. Yeah, Billy, I'll hit you up on Slack, and I definitely want to see that. So, all right, I'm going to go through and see if I missed anything. I believe RS uses Team Render natively as long as it's installed. I believe so too, but like everything else, you probably need another license. I don't think it's like Cycles where you get 3 right off the back. Let's see. Okay, so I guess the overall tip was what was my final render setting. So it kind of depends. Like I just showed, I had to mess around a little bit to figure out why my shadows weren't doing exactly what I want. But usually it is something along the lines of like 32 to 128 or 32 to 512 even. But even that's kind of high. I don't usually go up that high. I do a lot of post cleanup too, so I'll bring it into After Effects or Fusion or Nuke, and I have denoisers in there that clean it up really fast, so I can do something like a 8 and 32 render where it gets pretty noisy, and then it cleans it up really quickly. That violates my contract. Sorry. So I guess you have to come over now, David. I've violated your contract. Oh, you know, I'm not. I probably have Trajan on here. Yeah, there it is. Doing not engrave. Let's see. We'll do 2 steps. There we go. Looking good. Oh yeah, that kerning's terrible. Got some nice kerning with the eye. We're gonna start to merge it all together. Make it just. Where are you going? Perfect. Are you going to the mall? All right. Yeah. So, let's see. It is quarter of. So, if any rim lighting, I can do rim lighting for you. I kind of already did that with the heart earlier. What denoiser do I use in After Effects? It's called Neat Video. So I have it for After Effects and Premiere. I personally like it in Premiere a lot better, mostly because you can just throw your footage in there and take care of it and not have to RAM preview. Premiere does a great job of caching it all before running the effect, while sometimes After Effects gets a little too caught up in its RAM previews and it takes a little bit longer. But you can buy both as a bundled pack. Yeah, Neat Video Denoiser is the best. That's right, Billy. This hurts my family and generations before me. Well, I guess I'll just have to switch to Papyrus. Yeah, or at the beginning of like a Tom Cruise movie. Where's Papyrus? Do I even have it? P-A-P. There it is. Oh god, that E is so terrible, man. That looks like a webcam gaper. Look at that E. Look what you're doing, David. All right. So, good tip, denoiser. Stay tuned into law firm end tag real quick. This hurts my family generations before me. Blah, blah. Cool. So, I'm trying to think if there's one last tip I can give you guys for the evening. Clear that out. Really, that's it. I kind of just want to do a general overview for you guys and answer any questions if you've been watching the tutorials. So if you saw the first one that came out earlier this week, there's a new one that came out today on volumetric lighting. So if you have any questions about that, or you've watched it already on my own channel, then throw them in the chat and I can try and talk to you about that. But I showed that at the very beginning. Basics of getting started. Really easy, as I showed, just couple steps to go find a texture. Just helping to art direct that scene. Yeah, you're a great art director, David. I just need you sitting behind me rubbing my shoulders. How you octane mix? Go over the layer shader. Okay. So, whoa, I clicked on an Arnold thing. All right. Billy, are you talking about like just mixing? Okay. Yeah, there's there's a Redshift mix, and then you can pipe 2 in, which is really nice if you have pre-built stuff, and then you can just put it right there. And then, why isn't my copy and drag working? We'll just do material. Or there's also material blender. Which one do you mean, Billy? Do you mean the material blender or the RS mix? Because there's 2. Can you pipe in alpha image? Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to, the one with hecka inputs. Okay, the material blender. All right, yeah. So for that, let's say we've got copper, and we'll make this one lead. Kill this. This will be layer 1. That'll be the blend color. You can do it like that. I don't personally like to do it like this because I like just using math mix. And I just realized I don't have a light on in my scene. We're gonna get much out of this. Here, I'll show you how I do it with a mix. Why would you want to do this, Billy, when you can build so much right with the other nodes? But this gives you a little bit more control, in my opinion, and then you can start to bring these in a little bit more. If you want to use an alpha, which I'll show that too. Media. We'll just consider this an alpha. Should be, pipe that in. No, maybe I'm wrong. I know what you're talking about, Billy. Maybe I'm not doing it the way that I think you mean. Like having 7-octane mixed materials all in one node just so it's cleaner. You have a base and 6 layers. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about just from having worked in Octane. I don't usually do it that way. I would build up complex things in a single material. So if I want that and then to bring in, say, an alpha, gotta find it. Opacity. There we go. So that's one way to do it, is you can pipe it into the opacity and we'll start affecting it there. You can adjust the gamma, of course. And this sphere, or light is intense. It's so great. Well, Billy, you will have to make a video too, dude, or just show me how to do it, because that seems too intense for me to have so many materials and going into one thing. But for people looking to do stuff with alphas, and I can do that too in another tutorial when I go over into the shaders, you can just do it in the node graph and then bring in a texture, put it in the opacity, and starts to cut it out from that there to make complex textures. Eric Filkins just joined. What's up, Eric? We're going to be on for like another 3 minutes here. All right, have I missed any other questions, you think, Dave? Is Dave still even there? Nope, he walked away. So, oh, there he is. I see your arm. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to do like a 5-minute warning of, what else would you like to see really quickly? And Billy, I'm going to write down your mix thing just so I can review it and then put it in a tutorial, because I'm learning this too, and that if that seems like it's going to be a cool workflow, then I definitely want to know it. So mix materials. I'm going to put bulky. Merv asked when I'm releasing the AOV one. So I'm going to do that one. Let's see. I have it 1, 2, 3. I have a number 5 on my list. I guess I could tie it at number 4. So the order that I've kind of got going on next are lights and shaders, and then X particles and how to generate geometry and use splines through X particles like spline trails. And then I was going to do render optimization and AOVs together. But if there's enough demand, I might go out of order. I was trying to keep it more basic in the beginning. Displacement. Yeah, let's see some greeble. Okay. Well, that's pretty easy. I have the tech hit pack from the French Monkey. So, yeah. Let's do a texture in here. And where do I keep that? I haven't used it in a while. I think it's in, no, that's, I'm going to give myself 30 seconds to find it. Otherwise, I just thought of something else that I can show off. C4D tools, is that where I keep it? Textures. There it is, tech it, yep. I need to clean up that shit. All right, so we've got the textures there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe it into a bump before I forget. So we've got a bump map node right here. We're going to put our texture into, and that's going to go into input. And from there, we're going to pipe that into our Redshift material. And down and under overall is bump input. And oh man, my fan on my computer just kicked on for a second. Am I still streaming, Dave? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna put on a HDR link. Man, they owe me some money after tonight. Throw that in there and turn off the background. There we go. And that's it. French monkey style textures for some quick greebles. And that's fast. That's fast anywhere you use it, but David, there you go. Nice greebles. And while I'm giving shout outs to other people, I'm going to do one for Mitch and just show his VDB pack in Redshift really quick because it works pretty well pretty quickly. If you guys don't know Mitch Myers has an awesome VDB pack. What's that? Oh, aka Cool Fire. Yeah. Cool Fire. So it's got all these smokes, nebula, cloud, abstract. So the way we're going to bring that in is through Redshift environment, Redshift volume. And I'm just going to do a smoke. Bring that in here. Loading. Why are you loading? There we go. So this one's intense. I'm just going to use density. So what we'll do is create a new material, volume. Throw that on the volume. And in here, this will be density. We want to make sure our light is affecting volume, so let's do 1. Get in on that. And like that, we've got volume. Just like that. You'll get caught up in the cool fire. Can you overlap VDBs without error? Yeah, man. What do you think this is? Oh, shit. I copied the light, not the volume, but there we go. Look, man. Look at that. 2, 3, 4. 4 poofs. Let's do multi-copy. Boom. Yeah, Redshift handles VDBs really fast. You want me to clone it? You got it, dude. You've got it. Throw it in a cloner. It's the circle of Puffy. I'll just... There you go, dude. Okay, this is the best thing about Redshift I've seen. Dave's been waiting for this all night. Rest in peace, stream. Uh-oh, Billy says getting... Rest in peace, stream. Billy, am I back? I hope you're seeing that, dude. Yeah, maybe he was just worried that was gonna work. What if I do this, guys? Put a cloner in a cloner. Oh man, a cloner in a cloner, and I'll honeycomb that. Let's see if I can. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But you can, I think you can proxy a volume, which makes it a lot faster. I've never tried to proxy a volume. That may be something I need to try. Yeah, you can't do an instance of an instance. but it's really fast. So what do we've got? Let's see. We've got 100. I'll just round that up to 100. Oh yeah, my computer's feeling this now. Loading. It's freaking out. There we go. Got it. And then, so 100 times 10 times 10. So I'm not good at math, people. What's 100 times 10 is 1,000 times 10, so that's 10,000 puffs, right? Is that correct math? Where's my 100 times 10 times 10? Yeah, 10,000. 10,000. I can talk now. 10,000 poofs right there. And I can still pan around, and it's going to take a second for it to do the point cache, but almost updating in real time. And I'm streaming right now. So many little farts. That's right. So, David, have we converted you, dude? I mean, you've got 10,000 poofs right here. They're like schmoopy poofs. And then random scale. Man. All right. So, guys, here's the plan. If you've been watching and want to keep following along for Redshift tutorials, the plan is on Mondays or Tuesdays, a new tutorial will come out for probably the next 5 weeks. I think I've got enough material to do for 5 weeks. And then every Thursday, I'm going to try and do a follow-up like this. So if you watch the tutorial and you have questions, come on Thursday and start asking questions, and it will kind of be like a college session that way. So learn a little bit and then come to class and we'll talk about it and review it, and maybe even try and have a lot of little poofs happen. All right, guys, it's been fun. I'm glad this all worked out. Dave, thanks so much for hanging out with me and controlling everything behind the scenes. Dave from Brograph is on Skype with me this whole time, and he's been doing an awesome job, so thank you so much. And everyone that's in the chats, thank you for interacting with us, and I hope you enjoyed it, and leave comments, and shoot me an email, liam@5-31.com, or at _5, the word 5, FIVE 31 for Twitter. And I'll try and help you guys out as Redshift grows. And as I said in the beginning, I'm not saying everybody needs to jump shift from Octane into Redshift. Just give it a consideration and choose what's right for you. All right, guys, have a great night. Stop my Facebook. Okay, I was just gonna hit stop on the stream. Okay, where's my Facebook?